Hi, everybody, and welcome to Jordan United Church of Christ with me, your favorite pastor. During this Lenten season, we've been doing a very close look at the Gospel of Luke, which is unique in one way in that most of it is Jesus on a journey toward Jerusalem. In chapter 9, verse 51, there's a passage that reads, "When the days drew near for him to be taken up, he set his face to go to Jerusalem." And remember, that's just in chapter 9, and it takes all the way until chapter 19 for him to arrive there. So 10 chapters pass until we have the triumphant entry into Jerusalem on Palm Sunday, which we celebrated this last Sunday. And then it takes until the 22nd chapter, only 24 chapters total in the gospel, before things start to move very quickly. So from this pace of Jesus setting his face and heading toward Jerusalem. And I just want to read from the Bible that I use on a regular basis. It's the ESV, English Standard Version. Here are just the headings that were added by the publisher. The plot to kill Jesus, Judas to betray Jesus, the Passover with his disciples, the institution of the Lord's Supper, who is the greatest. Jesus foretells Peter's denial. Scripture must be fulfilled in Jesus. Jesus prays on the Mount of Olives. The betrayal and arrest of Jesus. Peter denies Jesus. Jesus is mocked. Jesus before the council. Jesus before Pilate. Jesus before Herod. Pilate delivers Jesus to be crucified, and the crucifixion and the death and the burial of Jesus all happen in chapters 22 and 23 in rapid succession. That's what we're going to be talking about not only tonight but also tomorrow night, our Maundy, Thursday service of Holy Communion here in our sanctuary at 7 p.m. It's a service of shadows where, as we read some of these passages from Luke, we'll be lowering the lights and extinguishing a candle on the altar as we see the difficulty that Jesus is facing, even as his very own trusted disciples turn away from him. And then, of course, tomorrow night, Good Friday, a 7 o'clock service. Again, a very somber service. We'll actually be concluding the service with just tea lights, candlelight, as we remember the death of Jesus. Both of those services, by the way, will be live streamed as well. You see the tomb behind me that we construct every year as a reminder of the somberness of this day, Good Friday. And then Easter Sunday comes and the promise of new life, and you'll find the stone behind me rolled away and flowers and joy on Easter Sunday. I'd like to personally invite you to our services of Holy Communion, both at 8 and 10:30 here in our sanctuary. The 10:30 service will be live streamed as well. And we'll also be gathering at 6 a.m. on the portico. The weather forecast seems to be pretty promising. And our youth will lead us in a service beginning on the portico and then journeying all the way up to the cross at Lookout Hill, just outside the Harding Chapel. There are 3 days of very special services, and in between on Holy Saturday is our community egg hunt as well at 1 p.m. Again, the forecast seems to be promising that we can hold it outside. I hope that you will join us as we commemorate Jesus' death and his resurrection as well during these days where Holy Week concludes and Easter celebration begins. Also want to remind you that we are hosting Family Promise of the Lehigh Valley. There are 14 guests that will be staying with us here in our church who are currently without housing. They'll arrive about 5:30 p.m. on Easter evening and leave every morning about 7 a.m. And they'll be here until the following Sunday morning. There are a lot of the slots that are filled for help, but there are still some slots that are available. I'd like to see them all filled as we take the compassion and suffering of Jesus and put it into good works to advance his reign of love and justice for all people. There is a line in the invitation today that you can use Sign Up Genius, and please consider, as Gail and I are doing one overnight, please consider helping us to house these folks for at least one night this week. I want to wish you a very blessed and holy Easter season. We'll see you in church. God be with you.